For my third client story, this month I'd like to talk to you about Nadine. Now, Nadine was a director. She worked at a tier 1 investment bank. She came to me at a particular point in her career where she needed to make some very, very important decisions. And she was experiencing a particularly toxic working environment, very challenging at that time. She had a very strong manager she was struggling with. There had been a new senior management structure implemented recently that she was trying to navigate, and all of this whilst she was trying to protect a team that she'd both nurtured and built. And Nadine was at a crossroads. She needed to make some very important decisions about her career. She didn't know whether to stay where she was, to change the role within her organisation, or exit and go and find another role within another bank or another organisation. All this was very challenging, and on top of that, she was the primary breadwinner within her family, so this was not a decision that she could take lightly. Now, apart from the desire to make this decision, Nadine also wanted to become the type of leader she aspired to. So she was very interested in looking at the way that she showed up as a leader. She wanted to be much calmer, much more logical and more pragmatic. Nadine struggled a little bit with triggers. She experienced some stress and anxiety, and she was often overly empathetic with people around her. So these are some of the things in addition that she wanted to look at. Now, Nadine and I spent a lot of time together working through the initial decision making around whether she had transitioned in or out of her existing role. There were at times ups, there were lows, there were tears sometimes and laughter, but not at one point did Nadine ever give up through this process. Nadine got to the point where she decided that she wanted to transition out of this role, so we did a lot of work in preparation for that, and also preparing for interviews, and also when she found the role, transitioning into that new position. So that was one phase of the coaching that we did together. The next phase, once the dust had settled, Nadine was very keen to look at the way that she worked. She wanted to introduce smarter working techniques and processes. So we took the time to look at the way that she showed up as a manager, as a leader, the way she faced off to her peers at work, and the smarter working processes that we implement. Nadine today said was one of the most transformational things that she ever did, actually taking the time to look at the way that she worked, look at the way she operated, was really beneficial to her. Now, once that had all settled, Nadine came back to me. We did another phase of coaching because she'd realised that whilst she was happy in her new role, some of the old patterns, some of the old triggers had started to show up in her new role. Often when we sort of try to run away from one thing or a role or a person, we often find the same things happening in the new place that we show up. In coaching, we see this as an opportunity. So Nadine was really keen to spend some time to look at herself and really iron out some of the things that she hadn't faced maybe in her previous role. So we spent a lot of time looking at her self-beliefs about her as a leader, the way that she communicated, the way that she limited herself in some way to be the type of leader that she wanted to be. So Nadine did a lot of work of being more authentic. She worked on her emotional intelligence, and trying to unpick some of the triggers to soften the amount of anxiety and the stress that sometimes showed up with her. Sometimes it could knock her off her tracks, so to speak, when she was in meetings. So she did a lot of work on that. And I checked in with Nadine recently, and I asked her about her experience and her journey. And in her own words, Nadine reflected on the fact that one of the greatest gifts that she experienced through the process was the ability to self-reflect and to be able to develop her emotional intelligence, change the way that she communicated with people, challenged the way that she used to think about what it was to be a leader. And as a result, she has created an extremely strong resilience, actually. She's able to show up authentically and not get stressed and not experience anxiety, even in the most challenging of moments. So Nadine really has become that logical, pragmatic leader that she so aspired to be. I asked Nadine what she thought what the strengths were that she got from coaching, and Nadine reflected back that it was that self-reflection, but also the curiosity that it created. She was very good then at, once she'd learnt the techniques, at going away and actually doing the work on herself without me being there as a coach. And she found that really, really exciting that she could do that. She also said it was very much the partnership of having a coach. She said that she would never have been able to navigate through such a challenging, difficult, emotional experience had she not had a coach to work her way through that. Now, if you find any of that story interesting, perhaps you can see yourself in Nadine's situation or have seen yourself in Nadine's situation. If you'd like to have a conversation or a chat with me about it, then I'm more than happy to do that. If you can sign up to my newsletter via my website to look out for future videos or articles on related topics. And if you've got any questions about coaching, then please feel free to reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to answer any of them. Thank you.